Welcome to El Café de la Vida with the Flower
Coffe Cup Reading.
Hello, I'm the Flower Ghost, and welcome to Things I See in My Coffee. This one is called Moon Shadow because of the Cat Stevens song that I got. Moon shadow, dun dun. So, what I'm going to show you now is actually not my cup of coffee, but a pot. You're going to see it, and then I will give you more where I got intuitively inside, because it got cold and the sun isn't. Yeah. So I'll see you soon.
Things I see in my coffee, yeah. With Prince Perman. Yeah. Right. Things we see in the coffee. Ja. Ja, det är YouTube. Ja, och hittas. So. The first thing I was really drawn to this figure. I was just going to wash this, and this figure here, and the first thing I saw was a dog. You know those police dogs? I don't know what the breed is in English, but you know those police dogs. But then I saw, oh, it's got a beak, and it got wings and like bird feet as well as dog feet or lion feet maybe. So then it came to me. It's a griffin. You know those griffin? Those mythical birds, animals that are creatures that are they have the face of a bird, of an eagle, the feet of a lion, and so on. They're in Harry Potter. Okay, griffin, mythological creatures. And then I saw, oh, there's another doggy thing here. And then I was drawn to this figure. So I have this figure here, and then I thought, oh, it's like they're looking up. They're both looking up at the sky in the woods, maybe. And then, but then I was drawn to this figure again. It's like it's feeding. I need a little stick. It's like it's doing something to this figure here. Either it's giving, you know, like mama birds, they're giving something to this figure, or they're taking, right? And then I saw this thing, and then it started this figure here, and it looks like like a ghost, like a soul. If you would draw, you know how in animation or movies, this, you know, the souls of people look kind of ghostly like that. And then I started thinking, oh, it's like they're going up in between them. So then I started thinking, oh, these are all like souls, and then since I was drawn to this as a dog first, I thought, you know, it made me think of Anubis in the Egyptian mythology, or like dogs as the guardian, or the ones that accompany you from through the in-between world, from the living to the other world, something like that. So I was like, oh, these are like the watchers. And this is like a gate. But then I started getting this image of, you know, in the tarot card, the moon card. So there's usually like a dog and a wolf, and then there's a little crab coming out of the waters, primordial waters, and there's a path all the way to the sea. So it's almost like the High Priestess card is very similar. You have the two pillars, but the moon and the other world in between. So I don't know if these are like the path of the souls that are going to incarnate, or if it's after their life, it is a soul that are passing on. And and also with the moon griffins, it came to me that griffins, the mythological creature, they're actually they represent the element of quicksilver, so which is the element of the moon. Gold represents the sun, and quicksilver represents the moon. Yeah, I think that's right. So the image of the griffin is symbolizing the moon. So sometimes you see a griffin and a lion, or the griffin having features of a lion. So it's this joining of the sun and the moon and what that represents. But this is the moon. So the realm that cannot be seen under the sun, the other worlds, things that are hidden for us. And it's like, yeah, like they're watching. So I wonder if this is like, because I got maybe if this is someone being reborn, like this figure here leaving its essence before it's going to be born, or it's eating it. Because because you see how there's a path, it's almost like water here, and some are going through this portal, this entrance, and then some are going here, and they are not paying attention to them. They're just looking up. It's almost like he was looking up in awe. The same with this figure. It's like this is the eye and it's looking up. Oh, it becomes like it feels something very organic, like cells or pathways, as well as water. Either they come through this portal, so through the portal, through this water portal, up, and then or maybe it's like two parallel worlds, like the essence are the ones who are going to be reborn, and the essence of those who are not, like the living and the dead. But I don't know about this. Yeah. Whew, exciting. When I thought about first, when it looked like trees, like a forest, all up here, like a forest, going into the forest. And with this, it makes me think of, the World Wide Web. It's almost like, this is the Earth or a sphere, and it made me think of, the roots of the trees, how in natural forest they all connect to each other and share information and so on. So everything is connected. There's something about that, everything being connected. They're like in awe, in awe of this phenomenon, of this fact. But it's like, are they being born? Or are they going to the other world? Ah, now it's almost like, okay, this is Earth, right? This is Earth, and through the portal, like this is space, and through this portal, like outside from Earth, it's symbolically like there are souls coming, new souls coming into being. And they're being, like, it makes me think so. And so we have the moon. The moon is usually, it's very important. Spaceship. But it's like different beings. Maybe some of them are given up, like this figure is this figure as well. Like they're the same. This is just a smaller aspect that is going into the world. Maybe all of this also could be something that is trying to enclose upon Earth, close it off somehow, cosmically, away from the other planets and the cosmos, closing off from being in the rhythm. But because it almost looks like it, like it's trying to like, but here it looks like it should, like it's supposed to be. But this is almost like an intrusion, something intruding upon that's not supposed to be. But then you have all of this, the new type of souls that are being born, the futuristas, the new babies. And they're watching, or this is being what's it called, observed over, watched over the developments. Yeah, that's it for this part. Next part, if there is a next part, I'll be taking out, drawing some cards and speaking more about if I get something else after yeah. So look forward to next part if there's a next part. That's all for things we see in the coffee. Yeah, it's permanent. Oh, and this, I like to add milk to my coffee, and I like it really hot. So if you just add milk to your hot coffee, it sort of becomes a bit yeah, I like it really hot. So I add the coffee here and I put in the milk and I let it boil. Anyways, okay, that was the end for this part. Just quickly, something drew my eyes to here, the chest, so the heart area, the heart, the heart, the hat. So these are changes as well that's going to relate to the heart. And the heart, that portal, it comes through the heart as the universe. So these are well-meaning forces. This is a well-meaning plan. So there's probably heart energy that is going to come through this new futurista babies. They're infiltrating our planet. Like new energy, they're bringing another, yeah, like another way of being. They will be able to receive like each generation receives ideas. They are strong, so they can receive the ideas for the future. But also when we come in contact with people, and they are very based, heart-based, or have a different energy than us, it affects us. Something can start to pop in our hearts as well. And it's to counteract this. Because this looks sickly. This looks good. I can't explain it. It is what I am getting. Something. Heart portal. The heart. Okay. Subscribe. Okay. Hello again. Hello. I kept on filming outside, and I filmed everything I wanted to say, and for about 17 minutes, and when I was in the last bit, my phone just froze. Uh, so to the point where I had to like restart my phone, and I lost everything. So we're just I'm inside now. I'm trying to get a bit of the last light, and let's see how it goes. So do you remember do you remember? Of course, you just watched it, but I have some notes, and you know, I was talking about the moon, about something hidden. So I wrote, since it is the moon realm, it is something hidden under the surface,
hidden from the general conscious awareness of the collective. So it's under the surface, it's hidden from the general collective consciousness. Okay? So it is not in the sun realm, it is the moon realm. So it's hidden. It is something that's happening quietly, cloaked in the night, or cloaked by the night. It is supposed to be a secret from those intruding negative forces and systems. So do you remember the sickness, or that I was mentioning on the upper corner, and how things were coming in secretly. But these are things that are hidden. It's not obvious. It's not supposed to be right now. And then I wrote, the new futuristas are the agents of the heart. What I mean is how I was at the ending I was like being drawn to the heart, and then the new souls that are coming in. I thought that the futuristas, I call babies futuristas. They are agents, secret agents of the heart. Okay. Secret agents of the heart. Okay. That sounded really disgusting. Okay. So then I got the song Moon Shadow by Cat Stevens. It goes like this. I'm being followed by moon shadow, dun dun. And the song came to be, just quickly, the song came to be, it was something about he lives in the city, he grew up in the city, and then in his youth he found himself, in the countryside, and he saw for the first time like the moon really clearly being reflected on the surface of the water. And you know how when there are a lot of bright lights, you cannot really see the starry sky that clearly. But when you're out in the country or somewhere where there aren't that many lights, you can properly see the sky, the night sky. And the moon shadow is talking about the reflection of the moon in the water. And the lyrics goes a bit like this. For example, the first verse is, and if I ever lose my hands, lose my plow, lose my land, and if I ever lose my hands, la 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 la. Well, it ends with, well, then I won't have to work no more. And each verse is like, and if I ever lose my legs, if I ever lose the five senses, or if I ever lose my eyes, then I don't have to cry no more. So each verse is like, it's something negative, but then he's like, well, then I don't have to do this anymore. So a funny way to put it is like, turn when when life gives you lemonade, no, lemons, you make lemonade, right? But on a more serious note, it's like, I wrote, no matter how much suppression and chaos, it is not possible to kill everyone's fire, There's always going to be people, only one person is required that still keeps that fire, still has the will. You can subdue the will of many people, but not everyone. And you only need one fire, one inner fire to inspire another. And fire, wildfire, spreads really quickly. It spreads easily. People's will and heart are easily, or can always be awakened by that inspiration. So even those people, the people whose will has been shattered in different ways, their heart can always be awakened. Do you remember the heart, the portal? Because the soul, our soul, is always longing to express itself. Which, oh, I didn't want to get into a rabbit hole, but it uses the ego, right? Once the ego is fully grown and well developed, and then there are processes that the ego has to go through, so it opens itself to the will of the soul, because, and then we start finding our life purpose and things. But anyways, it is like the soul is really, it's like the concrete flower. As long as the will of the soul really is like the concrete flower, that even though even though there's concrete, the flower keeps on growing. It poops. It pops up. And then I wrote, that the moon shadow, even though when we are thrown into darkness, when we are thrown into the unknown, the night, right? When we are thrown into the night, there are things that we can only see there, that we cannot see when the sun is up. We cannot see with the blinding light of the sun. We can only see it during the night, with the sunlight being filtered through the moon. So, and when we are thrown into this difficult periods, when we are thrown into the darkness, into the night, a lot of times is through that the biggest growth happens. So even the struggles, the negativity, all of that becomes something that we use to enhance ourselves, that we can use as fuel and to transform ourselves into something much greater. So another thing that I got with a little bit funny, with the moon shadow, and the will, it's like Naruto. For my generation, for those who don't know, it's originally a manga series and a comic and an anime later, and the main character, Naruto, he's like, even if you cut off my arms, remove my legs, and I'm only a head, I'm going to crawl forwards to you with my teeth, like yeah. That was an image I got as well now. So that's the first part, and then we have I got another song. Let's see. Oh, the other song was And so this is Christmas, and what have you done? Another year over, a new one just begun. And so this is Christmas. Okay. And I hope you have fun. Okay. But that is not the verse I'm focusing on. It's the a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any fear. So, a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any fears. Okay, this does not say that, oh, next year it's going to be peachy and rainbows and peaceful. It's actually not talking about that. It's about the line without any fear. So what it means is without any fear. This does not mean things are going to be peaceful, but it is to keep the peace and the fire within our hearts. Ooh, the heart is coming back behind, because in spite of the chaos. So it is very easy. It's very easy to feel safe, to feel calm, to feel happy when things are going well. The trick is to, oh, okay, it's going. Okay, I'm going to. Okay, I'm back again. Is this the angle? Yeah. Okay, so as I mentioned, it is easy when things are calm, right? But the trick is to find your center. To find your center. The trick is to learn to find your center in spite of the chaos. To learn how to find your center. So that is a message about the very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any fear. Oh, and as well as trying to keep, not to latch on to the fear mongering that is used a lot, because that keeps us away from our higher minds and our intuition, and it blocks us in so many ways. So the coming time really is about learning to find your center in spite of everything, and that can look like differently for everyone, but I would definitely recommend to not spend so much time on the news. You know, I'm someone that I was watching the news since I was 4, and then when I was a senior in high school, things happened, and I just decided that I needed to. I was very like, I always been interested in politics and foreign politics and world politics and you know, that kind, but I had to stop consuming for a while. And when you sort of detox yourself from everything, you have a better understanding then what is actually news, what is productive, what is propaganda, what is, you know, from and I'm not thinking about politics, right or left or whatever, but you know, yeah, it's really good. And or if you're watching too many, like if you're constantly consuming trauma, which is news, some news, what's called, you know, those true crime programs or shows that are very violent, like just a lot of negativity, or you're continuously listening to scary podcasts, and it's all day every day you're just consuming like very intense stuff and all the time, or you just consume, you're constantly listening to audiobooks, constantly listening to podcasts, constantly reading, being on your phone, you know that. And this is for me too. Like, this is a message for me too. uh, we need quiet sometimes. We need detox from the senses and impressions and opinions and politics, you know, everything. And awareness of what we are consuming. Or am I a cobra? Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So learning to find the center. Um, and then I wrote, like, in the end, uh, like, we are being watched over. We have never been abandoned. Just because we cannot perceive it does not mean it is not there. The word is perception. Okay? Perception. To perceive. Just because we cannot perceive it right now does not mean it's not there. It's like I said with the moon versus the sun, the consciousness of the sun. Like right now, things are happening, things are evolving, the cycles that we're going through. This is all evolving, you know, behind the scenes. We're being aided behind the scenes. But also, if we look at the conflict of the world, the cycles that the world go through, if we talk about perception, the cycles that we're going through and that the world goes through, our civilizations and so forth, if you see it from the perspective of one lifetime, from the perception of one lifetime, of a human lifetime, it might seem, the chaos might seem never ending. The unpleasantness may seem never ending. Because we're measuring from our own small perspective. It's kind of like seeing planting a seed and like watching it grow. It will take forever. Or if you have a friend that you grew up with, or a sibling, and someone that you spend every day with, and you're 5 one day, 5 years old, and then you're 18, and it doesn't hit you till you maybe see a picture. Oh, you were so small. Like, you don't see yourself grow, you know, you just are. But people who don't spend time with you a lot, who haven't seen you in years, also like, oh, you were like this and now you're like, ha. You know, it's going back to the concrete flower. Like, we don't see the things that are growing and developing, and a lot of people are not aware of the big cycles that we go through. And yeah, it might feel like conflict is endless, but then I got, you know, the series The Last Kingdom. For those of you who don't know, it's a BBC or a BBC HBO BBC that exists, a series that the sun, is that better? It's a BBC show, HBO, well, anyway, about when the Vikings were, and it's quite accurate, that's why I like it. It's not like over the top like Vikings, for example, where they're trying to be, yeah, whatever. This is not a critique, this is not a review, okay, but it's really well done. It's more, yeah, more realistic, more historically accurate as well, but really good. And it's when the Vikings started invading um, the five kingdoms of England, because it wasn't a united England, and it's very interesting. So you also have like, there's a lot of fighting and conflict, and it's kind of like the new generations are brought up, and the new generation, yeah, I think you at least see two generations, something like that, but it's like a never-ending fight, like one battle after the other, one war, they win the war, and then there's another. So it's kind of, and you can see it in some characters, how they sometimes exclaim like, this is never ending. Like, is this ever going to end? Like, what is the point of keeping fighting? Well, there is no end to this. But we know, we are the future, right? We future people, huh? We know that that is not true. Like, things are way better than back then, you know? There's always progress and change, and unpleasantness and new change. Yeah, it's like having to keep a more bigger perspective. It's important. I think. Oh. Moonshadow, dum, dum. I recommend listening to Moonshadow by Cat Stevens. It's a very beautiful song. But yeah, things just have to be the collective might not be completely conscious right now. Illuminated about the forces that are aiding us. But it has to be cloaked. It is interesting because this is almost, well, this is tying into my other video, if you haven't seen it, my other coffee cup, which is ancient portals, which I also had some technical difficulties. I had to like 3 times, I think I had to like film, because I didn't film. Anyways, yeah, it ties into that. So if you're interested, it's another coffee cup reading. Yeah, something is constantly coming in, sneaking in. Oh, and I want to add something. Yeah, because it's supposed to be a secret from those intruded negative forces. Do you remember the sickness? Okay. But now I got again the image of the dog griffin. But the first image I got with a dog and like almost like this Egyptian, the Egyptian god of Anubis. And the sort of death, where I was getting with the death. First I was getting, you know, how it was something with with this in between. So those guardians, it's like we're going through this death or this metamorphosis process. So it's not an ending, this sort of apocalyptic process, which again, apocalypse just means the end of an era, and the beginning of something new. And things, or revelation, things are being revealed at all levels of existence, from the most mundane in our outside world or societies, the things, the foundations that are not stable, right, are being exposed. The hidden things that were not beneficial for us are being brought up to light. Things within our own psyche are being brought up. So it's like and it's all so it can be dealt with. And when that happens, it's quite turbulent, and it feels like there's more darkness than ever. But that is not true. It was always there, and it's there, but now that it's not hidden anymore. Even though it can be overwhelming, it is there, so we can address it. But during turbulent times, there are a lot of forces, that more negative one, a more positive one, that try to kidnap kidnap the I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. And yeah, I'm not going to mention that. No. Okay. Yeah. So we need to keep our fire, or practice keeping our peace, not falling for this sort of fear mongering and trauma that they are sending us. To keep, of course, this sickness that is in the world. Oh, no, not sickness, like, I'm not talking about the this is the virus who shall not be named on YouTube, or it might get censored. You know, the V, okay? Nej, the 19 in reverse. Okay, I'm not talking about that. No, this is not that kind of video, okay? Yeah. What sound was that? That was all for this video. Things I see in my coffee. Ooh. I hope it was valuable information for someone. I have 5 subscribers, yeah, the time of this video. Okay. Hope to see you soon. Come back. Boop boop. This was the Flowery Ghost. Prince Perman is outside playing. This was my Starry Starlion, and I'll see you soon.